watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I'm Vasyl Khan. Welcome to the weekly podcast, joined by the usual faces, HF and Ron. And this is our preview for Saturday night's big fight at Madison Square Garden for the WBA World Lightweight Championship. Jorge Linares defends his title against Vasyl Lomachenko. HF, Ron, we'll start with you, HF. Or what type of a fight can we expect on Saturday night?
I think it's going to be a tactical chess match. Two highly skilled fighters at the prime of their careers, going at it for the lightweight championship of the world. The winner will hopefully fight Mike Garcia, maybe even Manny Pacquiao. So a lot is on the line, a lot of money's at stake in the fight, and look forward to it.
Ron, from your perspective, what type of a fight have the viewers got to look forward to on Saturday night?
Oh, well, I mean, firstly, in Linares, we've got, from a British perspective, he's beaten a lot of British fighters, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. He's beaten Kevin Mitchell, he's knocked him out, he's beaten Anthony Crolla twice on points. He's most recently, he's beaten
Luke Campbell.
Luke mm-hmm. as well on points decision. So we know what Linares brings. I would love to have a Lomachenko here, but what we've seen of him on YouTube and in his previous fights, you know, it's going to be an excellent mouth-watering tie between the two. And I agree with you what you said. It's going to be a bit of a chess match in terms of tactical skills and, you know, who can land their kind of combinations off first.
They say experience goes a long way in boxing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Linares' experience, you know, 44 wins, mm-hmm. 27 by KO, compare that to Lomachenko's 11 fights, which he's won 10 of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, Linares has a lot of experience, especially in the professional game. But, of course, what really helps Lomachenko is 397 amateur fights. Along with that, he holds 2 Olympic gold medals, junior world champion, junior lightweight world champion at such, you know, a young age in his career. But do you think the more experience that Linares has in the professional side of the boxing business gives him the upper hand for Saturday night's fight?
Yeah, you can say so. But the fact that Lomachenko has been fighting for world-class pedigree since his second fight, even though he lost the fight, but he entered that stage, that level since the second fight for the past 8-9 fights now. It shows that he's ready for the big time. He kind of skipped the early stages of a traditional professional career because he was so good. So it shows, and the fact that he's making fighters like Rigondeaux and Nicholas Walters retire, it shows that he doesn't really need the experience. He's at that level now. Linares is a totally different kettle of fish now. A bigger guy. Lomachenko moving up. Linares is a good counter puncher. A lot of power behind his punches. And he's confident. He's the champion going into a fight. So he doesn't want to give his titles up lightly.
Ron, the experience, does it give Linares the upper hand?
I mean, it's interesting you say that. I mean, 44 fights, you cannot kind of dismiss that easily. But as we've already mentioned, 396 fights that he's won, and out of 397 possible.
Yeah.
But you know, even since his pro debut career, he just looked like, you know, fish in water. You know, he just kind of took it naturally, and you know, his trainers and promoter were not afraid to put him in. And they were putting him in for a title fight in his third fight against Darren Russell Jr. So it shows
to show how much faith Bob Arum has in him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, just watching boxes, he's I think for me, best kind of natural boxer. The best, absolute. You know, his skill set is phenomenal. Max Kellerman actually said that Lomachenko's got the best attributes of past boxers. You know, I mean, in terms of footwork, hand speed, combinations, you know, defensive skills. He's one of my favourite. You know, he's probably up there in the top 3 fighters. I mean, despite him only having 11 fights.
Do you remember a few weeks ago, me and you, I think we were coming back from a press conference. I think it was a Billy Joe Saunders press conference, and I said to you, HF, who's the best boxer in the world right now? You answered Lomachenko.
Yeah.
What makes you say he's the best fighter in the world?
Well, like Ron said, he's got everything.
But what separates him away from the Golovkins, from them type of fighters, from the Errol Spence Juniors? You know, if we're talking pound for pound, if we're talking the best to watch, the best with the ability.
The reason why I said he's the best fighter in the world is because I don't see anyone beating him. I see Golovkin getting beat. Charlo could beat him. Canelo had a draw with him. BJ Saunders can beat Golovkin. And then you had Errol Spence, who's there. Maybe he gets outboxed by Crawford. Maybe he gets beat by Thurman. But with Lomachenko, I just don't see anyone beating him. I don't see Mikey Garcia beating him. I don't see Manny Pacquiao.
You don't
beating
see
him.
Robert Esser Jr. beating him.
I don't see anyone beating him, and that's why. I mean, sometimes you got a base prediction based on potential, and I don't see anyone potentially.
So do you potentially think when we talk about Lomachenko, we could be talking about a guy that could go on and become one of the boxing greats, even at the age
I
of
think he
31
already
years
is. For him to win a world title at the third fight, who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, they were giving McGregor no shot at beating Floyd because he had no experience in boxing. He's 0-0. But Lomachenko was 0 but he was 1-0 before he challenged for the world title. Fair enough, he lost that fight, but it's crazy how he made the transition from amateurs to professional ranks, and everything's just going so well for him right now.
I mean, as HF just turned around and said, who does that at such an early stage in their career? Do you think the fact that he's become a world champion within his third fight separates him far above from other fighters in the game?
I mean, not only that, I mean, it's just his skills, that he brings to the table. No other fighter does that. I mean, I know Mayweather did it very well, and he kind of said, hit and don't be hit.
Yeah.
But Lomachenko does it to a whole new level, and it's a different style as well. He's not a shoulder roll. He's kind of dipping, good lateral movement, side movement. Steps in, closes the ring off.
Yeah.
And he's got that kind of technique where, you'll swing for him, and he'll just spin around you. And he did that, with experienced fighters like Rigondeaux, like Walters, and like Gary Russell Jr. I mean, we can go through all that. He's made them look amateur, and that's going to take an incredible boxer to do that. You can't do that against any older fighters. I mean, the way he boxes, and he's very intelligent. He's not a power puncher, but he's a combination puncher. He kind of closes it off and then steps back.
We've obviously focused a lot on Lomachenko, but let's talk about the defending champion. I mean, let's not count him out. What type of a fighter is Jorge Linares?
Linares is an awesome fighter. I've really rated Linares. Of course, he had a few setbacks in the early part of his career. Had a few knockout defeats, but he's since teamed up with Salas, and he's got... and obviously he doesn't have Salas for this fight. Yeah, I mean,
sorry to interrupt you there, HF, but, no Ishmael Salas in the corner. His brother, Carlos Linares, is going to be in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm interested to see how he's going to respond in between rounds, because obviously it's one thing, Ismail Salas will get him ready tactically for the fight, but when things are not going according to plan during the fight, who do you turn to? You turn to your coach, and if Carlos Linares ain't got the experience in handling them kind of situations, what kind of advice does he give him between rounds? What kind of tactics does he use? I mean, it would be great to have Salas in the corner, but you're gonna have to roll with the punches now.
It's going to be above average kind of advice, isn't it? I mean, you got to remember who you in
the ring with.
Yeah,
it's his brother. So
he's
scared to tell him a few home truths if he's not doing.
Well, no, I mean in the respect that Lomachenko has made 2 fighters quit on the stool.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not 2 bums. They're 2 undefeated, potential pound for pound fighters that were in the top 10 list. Would you agree with Rigondeaux?
Yeah.
Great, tactical fighter. Great Olympic pedigree as well, amateur pedigree, and then you've got Ashley Walters,
Nicholas Walters,
as well. He's made him quit on his stool as well. So I hope that relationship works. We want an exciting fight. We don't want a one-sided kind of dominance. But what's going to be interesting?
I mean, if someone could dominate this fight, it really says it all about them, doesn't it? It does.
And more power to Lomachenko if he does. I don't see it happening. But then again, who's what? Happen against Rigondeaux.
Well, let me ask you something. What does Lomachenko have to do to beat Linares? Because this is a different kind of fish for Lomachenko. This is the world lightweight champion. Linares is no slouch. He's got vast experience in the professional business, and he's world champion, and he's beaten some big names like you mentioned at the start. What does Lomachenko have to do to beat Linares?
I mean, what he's been doing in his previous fights. Using his footwork, using his boxing craft, and his lateral movement from side to side. But one thing we've got to remember, that Lomachenko is stepping up 2 weights to take this fight on. The previous opponents that he's fought, they've been lighter than him as well. Rigondeaux in particular, who was 1 or 2 weights lighter. So he's got to avoid those power punches. He's going to be having to deal with heavier punches to what he's used to, and it's going to be interesting. But will he have that speed advantage in against Linares going into this fight?
Does the winner of this fight fancy a shot at the likes of Mikey Garcia, Robert Estet Jr.?
But I think the fight against Mike Garcia for Lomachenko has been brewing for a little while now. Mike Garcia is supposed to be fighting Robert Easter Jr. soon. Hopefully the winner of that will get the title shot against the winner of this fight. Should it be Lomachenko, it'd be a massive fight. I favour Lomachenko for that fight still. I mean, simply because...
You favour Lomachenko?
I favour Lomachenko against anybody. I don't think anyone is capable of beating him.
So let's say if he wins on Saturday night and he beats the likes of your Mikey Garcias or your Robert Estet Juniors, can he perhaps maybe move on to another division, become a...
Well, I think he can move to 140, but I think that's the highest he should go. I mean, I'm not sure who the champions are 140 right now, because obviously you had Crawford move up, didn't you? But I'm sure you'll get a title from somewhere. You'll win a world title there.
Ron, sky's the limits for the winner of this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, kind of Linares has been... showed it on these shores how good of a fighter he is. He's got a big heart, good engine on him. He's not... he's got the engine to go take him to 12 rounds, and we see it from his record. Lomachenko, one could argue that there's some question marks. Will he be able to do it over 12 rounds? He's been 12 round once, and that's the fight he lost. Now, does Linares take something away from that loss and think, is that the type of fight that he needs to fight? It was a bit ugly. It was a bit controversial.
Yeah, but I don't
a lot of holding. I mean, not saying that Linares is that fighter and that's their fight game plan. But could he take something away from that fight and think, I could adopt some of those kind of the tactics?
Linares is gonna have to lead with the right hand simply because Lomachenko is a southpaw, and that's the punch they never see coming. And Linares got a good, fast, razor sharp right hand, so he's gonna have to move around to his right and to the right hand. That's the game plan I would set for him.
I mean, how do you plan against someone with such impeccable footwork? I mean, which he developed from Ukrainian
roughhouse tactics.
Yeah, Ukrainian folk dance apparently before, and he's got the best footwork in the in the business. So that's something that he'll have to contend with.
They're both young, 32 years old. Linares, 31 years old. Lomachenko. A lot of hype around Lomachenko. Linares is world champion. I'm sure we're going to get a terrific fight on Saturday night.
I look forward to it. Yeah.
Let's get some predictions. Give me a prediction, Madison Square Garden. What happens on Saturday night?
It's a difficult one. I do see a Lomachenko win, but I don't see him kind of stopping him. That's one thing for sure. I know I've just said that points is probably the best way that Linares can win, but I'm leaning more towards Lomachenko just because of his, superior kind of boxing skills and and his tactical awareness of it all. So I think he's going to be too clever for him.
HF, go on.
Well, I said that I don't see anyone beating Lomachenko, and I stand by that. But I don't see this being an easy fight. I think Linares is going to have his moments, steal a few rounds, 3 or 4 rounds. I think he'll win about 4 or 5 rounds actually.
You reckon?
Yeah, because Lomachenko. I mean, can he do that? Can he maintain the same intensity, same pace for 12 rounds against a bigger opponent who's able to knock him out? Because of the size difference.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, in the fights that you've seen Lomachenko, have you ever actually seen him being tagged, in trouble, being hurt?
I haven't.
Do you know what I mean?
He's Salido, there was a few
smaller
moments.
guys than him. And
when he lost his only fight, there was a few moments.
Linares is a lot taller than Lomachenko, so Lomachenko's going to have to come in closer.
He'll have to impose that power and you'll have to impose that weight on him as well.
Prediction,
I'm going to go for a unanimous but close to unanimous decision for Lomachenko.
Okay.
I mean, last time we done this, I got my prediction right. You've not got yours wrong.
It was fluky, okay. We're injured again. We're not accepting that.
I'm going for and still.
Wow.
I think the experience in this professional business. Yes, we all know the amateur experience. What Lomachenko's got. I'm going for Linares.
There's nothing wrong with saying Linares is going to win this.
I rate Linares as a fighter. Don't get me wrong, I don't take nothing away from Lomachenko. He's been a breath of fresh air since he's come to boxing.
So let me ask you, okay, you're going for Linares,
and
he'll be still champion. How does he win?
He just got to do what he's done in his previous fights as world champion.
No, I mean like...
Stay busy.
Is he stay busy? But no, is it by points? Is it by stoppage?
He wins by points.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get...
How many rounds are you giving him? How many points? Is it just a shutout? Is it going to be
close? I think it's going to be one of them fights that the judges are going to be pulling their hair out, picking after round by round. It's going to be a very close, tight fight. But I think the fight, where the fight is going to be won, is in the middle of the rounds, in the middle of the fight. I think that's where it's going to be won.
Okay, definitely. Linares win? Can we see a rematch?
If it's a great fight, why not?
Yeah.
You know, we're, as boxing fans, we want to see the great fights.
So make sure you all tune in on Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, exactly. Box Nation, big up to Box Nation. It's going to be a cracking fight, no doubt about it. If you're a boxing fan, this is one fight you can't miss. We've had a great start to the boxing year. We've had Amir Khan return. We've had Kell Brook return. We've had Anthony Joshua defeating Joseph Parker. And we've had Tony Bellew do the unthinkable. We even saw Golovkin retain his title the other day.
Tyson Fury coming back.
Tyson Fury's coming. Thank you. We're going to be there. Listen, this is going to be a great fight. If you're a boxing fan, do not miss it live. Box Nation, early hours of Sunday morning. Want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for watching this week's podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'm Vasyl Khan, joined by the usual faces, Rondo HF. Thank you once again for watching. Lights out.